So Dave Portnoy, the head of Barstool Sports, he came out recently and said something interesting. He said, look, if Roe is overturned, I'm going to vote for Democrats. Now, it's surprising to hear from Dave Portnoy because, Barstool Sports is viewed as, fairly or unfairly, I don't know, but they're viewed as more right-leaning. And Portnoy has done a number of appearances on like Fox News and Fox Business, and so people got the feeling that, Portnoy probably leans significantly right. But he surprised everybody when he came out and said, look, Roe, I believe in Roe versus Wade. I think it's correct, and I'll probably vote for Democrats if Roe is overturned. So he hasn't backed down from that. He sort of leaned into that position. And all of these friendships and acquaintances and alliances that he made with right-wing commentators is now going up in flames. Because I know they like to pretend like, oh, the cancel culture mob is solely on the left. But there are countless examples of right-wing cancel culture, and any semblance of disagreement, major or minor, gets you kicked out of a club. These sorts of people purity test to the high heavens. And so Dave Portnoy is now witnessing this firsthand, and he's sort of shocked by it. So here's what he said on Twitter. This was to be expected, but I still get a kick out of people who have sucked my dick for a decade straight, invited me on their shows a million times, and now disagree with me on Roe v. Wade, and suddenly I'm a pussy and an idiot. So let's look at this.
Listen, I enjoy Barstool. You guys are irreverent. You're funny. You celebrate manhood in sports and all the things we like about competition and meritocracy.
5 minutes later.
You know what? Let me turn off the music because it might get copyrighted. Good luck against your lib tormentors, bro. You're dumber than you look. Dude didn't respond with a kingpin gif when I defended this tool against Business Insider. Just another grifter pussy. Wait, what did that say? Just another grifter pussy who showed his ass. And take the $10K I sent to your fund and send it to a crisis pregnancy center. Chump. So Bongino went off on him, and he fired back at Bongino. I find people like Bongino immensely insufferable. And by the way, I'm not saying that none of this exists on the left, because it does exist on the left. And you guys have seen it with your own two eyes. People who, look, I could agree with you on 94% of issues, but that 6% of issues where we disagree, you're irredeemable, you're the enemy, you're the problem, and now I'm going to take that and begin to malign your intentions and malign you as a person. Man, I hate people like that. And it's a very common thing nowadays where it's like, you're simply the enemy if you disagree on anything. Very rarely nowadays is it a thing where it's like, no, seriously though, agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. I still like you, we're still friendly, we can still get along, we can still talk, you're still my brother, etc. That doesn't exist much anymore. So anytime I come across somebody who I feel like does the agree to disagree thing, it's like I automatically like them. Because okay, look, a mature adult who is not socially maladjusted and super weird. I talk about this all the time. When it comes to, for politicians, the standard is a little different because I care about purity of policy when it comes to politicians. I really don't care about purity of character. Whatever flaws you have in your personal life, that's different. I don't care. Everybody's dealing with their own demons, etc. That's totally fine. But I do care about purity of policy when it comes to politicians. But when it comes to whatever, other commentators or just friends in your life or family members or whatever, you can't take a stand on purity of policy or character because people are just colossally different. Everybody's on their own journey. Everybody has their own ideas. Now those ideas can evolve and change or stay the same, but you just deal with the individual at hand. Are they a good person in their heart? Do they mean well? And as long as they do, it doesn't matter if they disagree with me on everything. And that's just not a thing nowadays, especially in, the political commentary arena. Dan Bongino expects, the complete lockstep with his views. It's a very authoritarian way to live your life. And so because on Roe versus Wade there's a disagreement, now Dave Portnoy is the enemy. And I do respect the fact that Portnoy is not shutting up about this. I do respect the fact, because a lot of people, as soon as they get that little taste of the disagreement, a little taste of like the pushback, to appease everybody, they just back off of it or start saying the opposite, take a position that they don't even really believe. Portnoy's not doing that. Portnoy's like, no, I think Roe versus Wade is correct. I believe in the right to choose. And even getting all this pushback, he's like, did I stutter? I didn't stutter. So you got to respect that. Now, again, I don't know. Portnoy was like Me Too'd, and I think the story fell apart, and so it was like a false thing, and he got a lot of defense from the right, so that's why he felt like almost a natural alliance in a sense with them. But now what he's witnessing is, look, man, you step out of line once, and you're, what's the phrase, persona non grata? Is that the phrase? I have no idea. But anyway, not surprised. The right is purity testing into oblivion. We've seen this on the left as well. I guess my main takeaway in this whole thing is like, if you know somebody has pure intentions, and if you know they have a good heart, then just have a conversation. Be normal. Be friends. Be acquaintances. Talk it out. Don't burn bridges and malign intentions and be a total douchebag and a dingbat. It's really weird. It's really weird. And anybody who, I pride myself on trying to maintain a strong semblance of normiedom. I don't want to lose my brain online, which has happened to a lot of people. And I think everybody should pride themselves on normiedom, in a sense. You should be proud of yourself if you're able to, not fly off the handle at tiny disagreements and burn bridges and malign intentions. And here we see Dan Bongino is like the quintessential example of somebody who's just lost his mind in the political space, lost his mind, and tolerates zero disagreement. So there you have it. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take zero ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.